For 4 billion years, Saturn has had everyone fooled. We looked at the pale gold, the rings, the planet so light it would float in water, and we called it the gentle one. It is the single most dangerous thing in the solar system to believe, because everything that makes Saturn beautiful from a billion kilometers away is exactly what makes it impossible to survive up close. The serenity isn't the truth, it's the disguise. This is the fall nobody survives. Before you ever reach the bottom of Saturn, and there is no bottom, it will sandblast you, then shred you, then crush you, then dissolve what's left into a sea of liquid metal. Let's fall in. Start where everyone starts. From a billion kilometers away, Saturn is the calmest object in the sky. Pale gold, ringed, the one planet a child can draw from memory. 9 times wider than Earth, a day only 10.5 hours long, a year that runs nearly 30 of ours. And it really would float. Its average density is about 0.69 grams per cubic centimetre. The only planet in the solar system lighter than water. Drop it into an ocean big enough, and the whole world would bob like a cork. That fact is the bait. Because less dense than water doesn't mean soft. It means a deep, light envelope of gas sitting on top of something unimaginably crushing. The average is almost nothing on top and absolutely crushing underneath. Divided in 2. The only reason the number sounds gentle is that the part which would tear you apart is the part the average hides. The average is a lie. Even the rings are a trick of scale. They span more than 270,000 kilometers across, and they average about 10 meters thick. An object the width of a continent, as thin as a sheet of glass. Scale them down to a single sheet of paper laid across a stadium, and the paper would still be too thick. And because Saturn is tilted 27 degrees on its axis, those rings open and close from our view on a 13 to 15-year cycle. Last year they turned edge on and all but vanished. Right now, in 2026, they are tilting back open. Strip them away, and what's left is a naked sphere that has been hiding what it really is. So let's do the thing you should never do. Let's fall in, straight down, from the rings to the center. It won't kill you all at once. It'll kill you in layers. And the first layer is one nobody used to think was even there. Picture this. The gap between the rings and the cloud tops was supposed to be empty vacuum. In 2017, on its final orbits, Cassini fell through that gap and found it is anything but empty. The rings are dissolving. They are dumping roughly 10,000 kilograms of material into Saturn's atmosphere every single second. Water ice laced with organics, methane, propane, the kind of compounds you'd find in a refinery. The scientist who ran the instrument put it plainly. Ring rain, he said, is more like a ring downpour, as much as 10,000 kilograms a second. And when Cassini crossed that downpour at 31 kilometers per second, the particles vaporized on impact inside its sensors. An unshielded body wouldn't burn up. It would be flayed, ground away grain by grain, long before pressure ever mattered. And that's the empty part. You'd think the wind would be the worst of it. It isn't. Through the ammonia cloud tops, you enter the windiest place you will ever fall. The equatorial jets blow near 1,800 kilometers an hour, among the fastest sustained winds anywhere in the solar system. A Category 5 hurricane on Earth tops out around 250. Saturn runs that wind roughly 7 times over, everywhere along its equator, and it has not stopped once in 4 billion years. Not for a storm season, not for a single day.
But the wind isn't weather. It's a wall of moving planet. On Earth, wind is a skin a few kilometers deep. Saturn's jets are rotating columns of fluid reaching 9 to 11,000 kilometers down, the depth of several Earths stacked. You aren't falling through wind. You are falling into a rotating column the size of a world, with the next column shearing past it. That shear is a torque, and torque tears rigid things apart. The strange part, the part to hold on to, is this. These winds aren't powered by the sun. Saturn gets about 1/90th of the sunlight Earth does. Something else is driving them, something from inside. The wind has no flaw either. Survive the wind, and the wind stops mattering. Because now the problem isn't speed, it's weight. Picture this. About 1,000 kilometers below the clouds, the pressure reaches a kilobar, 1,000 times Earth's sea level pressure, and the temperature climbs near 1,000 degrees. Down here, hydrogen and helium cross their critical point, and the line between gas and liquid simply ceases to exist. There is no splash, no ocean to hit. The air just gets thicker, hotter, denser, until it crushes you like a liquid would. Then it keeps going. Think of Challenger Deep, the deepest point in Earth's ocean. The pressure there is enough to implode a steel submarine, and Saturn reaches it within the first few hundred kilometers of your fall. Then it doesn't stop. It climbs for 20,000 kilometers more until the pressure passes 1 megabar, 1,000,000 times Earth's atmosphere. Human tissue has long since been crushed to a fraction of its volume. Titanium buckles and melts. There is no submarine, no material we know of, that reaches the next layer intact. And it is utterly dark down here. The only light is the faint thermal glow of the fluid itself, cooking. Nothing we build survives this, and you're not even halfway. And then, somewhere past 1,000,000 atmospheres, the hydrogen stops being hydrogen as you know it and starts behaving like metal. Somewhere around 1 to 3 million atmospheres and thousands of degrees, hydrogen's molecular bonds break. Its electrons come loose and start to flow. The fluid becomes an electrical conductor, liquid metallic hydrogen, an ocean that behaves like molten metal. We have never made it last in a laboratory. It was first predicted back in 1935 by Wigner and Huntington, and physicists are still chasing the exact pressure where it forms, and still arguing over whether the change is sudden or smooth. This is live, unfinished science. But in Saturn's interior, that metal ocean is real, and it is enormous. It is what generates the planet's magnetic field. The metal here isn't a floor you stand on. It's an ocean of electricity. And it rains. Picture this. Down here, helium stops mixing with hydrogen. It separates out into droplets, and those droplets fall. Liquid helium raining downward for up to 20,000 kilometers toward the center. And as it falls, it releases heat. That is the engine. That falling helium is a slow furnace, and it is why Saturn glows from within, radiating more than twice the energy it receives from the sun. It is also the answer to the riddle from the top of the fall. Earth's weather is powered by the sun. Saturn's weather is powered by Saturn. The deepest rain, 20,000 kilometers down, is what feeds the supersonic winds that would have flayed you at the very top. The deepest weather feeds the highest. So we've fallen tens of thousands of kilometers. The winds, the pressure, the metal ocean, all behind us. Surely now we hit the bottom, the core, the rock at the center. There isn't one. For decades, the assumption was simple. Every gas giant hides a discrete rocky ball at its heart, a buried terrestrial planet under all that gas. A flaw somewhere, if you fell far enough. It was the one solid thing everyone was sure of. In 2021, that picture collapsed. And the instrument that broke it was the last thing you'd expect: the rings. It turns out the oscillations deep inside Saturn tug on its innermost ring, leaving faint spiral ripples that Cassini could read. The rings became a seismograph. As one of the Caltech scientists put it, they used Saturn's rings like a giant seismograph. The first time anyone has ever probed the inside of a gas giant the way we read an earthquake. And what they found was not a core. Not in the way anyone meant the word. The heavy elements, the rock and the ice, roughly 17 Earths worth of it, are smeared across more than half the planet's radius. They are blended into the hydrogen and helium in a gradient with no sharp edge anywhere. One of the team described it as a sludge, the rock and ice gradually mixing in thicker and thicker, the way the ocean gets saltier as you go deeper. Picture this. You dive into the sea and the water just keeps getting saltier, thicker, hotter. You sink 1 kilometre, then 1,000, then 20,000, and still no seabed, no floor, only sludge, grading imperceptibly from ocean to rock over a distance wider than 4 Earths. You don't land and there's no impact. The pressure and the heat and the density simply rise until whatever is left of you is suspended forever in a 20,000-degree metallic haze. You don't crash into Saturn. Saturn becomes you. There is no bottom. We know all of this for one reason. A machine fell in here on purpose to tell us, and paid for every number with its life. By 2017, Cassini was nearly out of fuel after 13 years at Saturn, and it carried plutonium. NASA could not risk a dead radioactive spacecraft drifting one day into Enceladus or Titan, moons with hidden oceans that might, just might, hold life. So they made a choice. Cassini didn't crash, it was ordered to die, to protect the very worlds it had spent 13 years studying. They called it the Grand Finale. 22 final orbits, threading the 2,000-kilometre gap between the cloud tops and the rings. The same gap that turned out to be raining 10,000 kilograms of debris a second. Then the plunge. On the 15th of September 2017, it entered Saturn's atmosphere at 113,000 kilometers an hour, fast enough to cross the Atlantic in under 3 minutes. It transmitted the whole way down. Its thrusters stayed at full power, just to keep the antenna pointed home, until aerodynamic torque finally overwhelmed them and Cassini tumbled. It survived for about 91 seconds and spent the last 8 of them rolling, still trying to speak. A 20-year journey, a 13-year mission, erased in a minute and a half. The planet didn't fight it. It barely noticed. Cassini's last lesson was this: those rings, the icon of the entire solar system, are dying. Its measurements suggest they are unexpectedly young, somewhere between 10 and 100 million years old, far younger than 4.5 billion-year-old Saturn. And they are raining away 10,000 kilograms a second. Saturn may have been ringless when dinosaurs walked the Earth. It may be ringless again one day. The most recognizable object in the night sky is a temporary decoration, and we just happen to arrive in time to watch it. Even now, in 2026, from a backyard telescope, you can catch it tilting slowly back into view. We sent a machine to find the bottom of Saturn. It found out there isn't one. For 4 billion years, Saturn had everyone fooled. The gentlest face in the sky wrapped around the cruelest fall in the solar system, with no flaw and no mercy all the way down. We went looking for its heart. It became part of the sludge it was sent to measure. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.